The gentle winds of Alfheim whispered through the trees, carrying the scent of flowers and the soft hum of magic that always seemed to linger in the air. The sky above was a serene blue, dotted with glowing orbs that cast soft, ethereal light upon the landscape. But the beauty of the realm was lost on the figures gathered around a single bed in Eliana Vale's sanctuary. Gunnar lay there, his body motionless. His left arm had been replaced with a bandaged stump, his once formidable form now frail and scarred. His left eye, covered by a patch, hid the damage beneath. His face was pale, his breathing shallow. Eli and Jewel stood at either side of him, their faces etched with worry and exhaustion. They had done everything they could. The magic of the Starlight Gem, the healing potions, and their combined expertise had brought Gunnar back from the brink of death, but he was not yet out of danger. The wolves, Alpha, Omega, and Bravo, lay nearby, their golden eyes ever watchful, sensing their Alpha's life hanging in the balance. The rest of the pack sat in silent vigil, the weight of the recent battle heavy on their hearts. Clara paced at the edge of the room, her face a mask of calm, though the tension in her movements betrayed the storm raging within her. In the corner, Eliana Vale stood quietly, her silver staff shimmering in the low light of the room. Her face was unreadable, but her ancient eyes, which had witnessed the rise and fall of countless realms, were clouded with concern. Suddenly, Gunnar stirred, his hand twitching slightly. Jewel rushed forward, checking his pulse, while Ellie placed a hand gently on his forehead. "He's coming around," Jewel whispered, her voice filled with cautious hope. The pack gathered closer as Gunnar's eyelid fluttered open. His vision was blurred, his body still weak, but his gaze found Clara, then Eliana. He swallowed hard, his throat dry, and tried to speak, but no words came. "Rest," Eli said softly, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You're safe now. We're here." Gunnar's eye shifted toward the wolves and then toward the pack standing around him. His chest rose and fell steadily, and though he was weak, the flicker of resolve had not left him. "Did we win?" Gunnar croaked, his voice barely a whisper. Clara moved closer, kneeling beside the bed. "We did," she said softly. "Ultranacious Eternus is no more." A ghost of a smile flickered across Gunnar's lips, but it quickly faded as pain washed over him. His gaze shifted back to Eliana. He didn't need to ask. The future was still uncertain. Though the Demon King had been defeated, Gunnar knew that darkness never truly vanished. It only retreated, waiting for the next moment of weakness. But for now they had won, and that was enough. Lysandra Diabolosa stepped into the room, her form shadowed as she stood by the entrance. Her face was solemn, but her eyes, once cold and filled with the weight of her past, now held a newfound determination. "I have sent word to my sisters," Lysandra said quietly. "They will ensure the monsters are contained and order is restored. My father's reign of darkness is over." Gunnar looked at her, his expression unreadable. He had fought alongside Lysandra, and though she had proven herself a valuable ally, her lineage still lingered like a shadow between them. Yet, he knew she had made her choice, just as he had. "Thank you," Gunnar managed to say, his voice hoarse. Lysandra nodded, her gaze lingering on him for a moment longer before she stepped back, allowing the pack to gather closer once more. Eliana Vale finally moved from her corner, her presence commanding the room's attention. She stepped to Gunnar's bedside, her silver staff glowing softly as she placed a hand on his chest. "The balance has been restored," Eliana said quietly, her voice carrying the weight of eons. "But it is fragile, as it always has been. You have done more than we could ever ask of you, Gunnar. You have brought us closer to peace, but you must rest now. The battles are not over, but for today, you are home." Gunnar's eye closed, exhaustion overtaking him, and he sank back into the bed, his breathing steady. Clara placed a hand on his remaining arm, her grip firm and reassuring. "We'll watch over you, Gunnar," she whispered, her voice filled with quiet resolve. "We'll carry on until you're ready to lead us again." The pack lingered in the room, keeping watch over their alpha as the day stretched into night. The wolves rested at Gunnar's bedside, their eyes never leaving him, while Eliana stood sentinel at the door, ensuring no harm would come to them in this sanctuary. Outside, the world of Alfheim was at peace, if only for a moment. The trees swayed gently in the wind, the glowing orbs casting their soft light across the land. In this magical realm, the darkness had been pushed back, but the shadows still lingered in the corners of the world, waiting for their moment. But for now, the pack was together, and Gunnar, though broken, had survived. And with him, so had hope. As the night deepened, the last words spoken in the room were soft and full of promise. "We'll face whatever comes next. Together." The gentle winds of Alfheim whispered through the trees, carrying the scent of flowers and the soft hum of magic that lingered in the air. The world outside the sanctuary was a place of peace and beauty, but within the stone walls, tension hung thick like a storm waiting to break. Gunnar lay on his bed, his body a motionless shadow of the man he once was, his left arm a bandaged stump, his eye covered with a patch, and his mind consumed by darkness. Days had passed since the battle, but the mental scars were deeper than any wound. His body had begun to heal, but the nightmares were constant. Trinity's face haunted him. Her betrayal, the pack's sacrifices, his failures. They echoed in his mind like a relentless storm, and each day he slipped further into the abyss. Clara had been pacing outside the room for what felt like hours, her movements sharp and tense. The air around her practically crackled with her pent-up emotions. She had tried to keep it together to give him space, but seeing Gunnar like this, so distant, so broken, was breaking her in return. And the betrayal she felt over him going into battle alone still burned like a fresh wound. Finally, she couldn't take it anymore. With a forceful push, Clara stormed into the room, her footsteps heavy, her eyes blazing with barely contained fury. She stood at the foot of Gunnar's bed, fists clenched at her sides, her entire body trembling with emotion. "Get up," she demanded, her voice low and sharp. Gunnar didn't respond. His gaze remained fixed on the ceiling, his eye vacant, as if he didn't even register her presence. That only fueled her anger. "I said get up!" Clara's voice rose, laced with raw, unfiltered rage. Still, Gunnar didn't move, his silence like a wall between them. Clara's jaw tightened, and without thinking, she grabbed the edge of the bed and shook it with all her strength, forcing Gunnar to acknowledge her. "Damn it, Gunnar!" she shouted, her voice cracking under the weight of her emotions. "I'm done with this. I'm done with watching you lie there like you've already given up. You left us, you left me, and now you're just lying here, rotting." Her words cut through the fog in Gunnar's mind, and for the first time in days he turned his head slightly to look at her. But his expression remained distant, and his voice was barely more than a whisper. "Leave me alone," he muttered. Clara's eyes flashed dangerously. No, not this time. She marched to the side of the bed, her face inches from his. The air around her was charged with her fury, and the storm inside her finally broke free. "You think you're the only one who's hurting?" she demanded, her voice shaking with anger. "You think you're the only one who's suffered in that battle? You went off alone, Gunnar. Alone. You left us behind. You left me behind. Do you have any idea how that felt? Do you have any idea what you put us through?" Her voice cracked, but she pushed on, her words coming out in a flood of emotion. "You think I wanted to stand by, helpless, while you fought that monster on your own? You think I wanted to wait here wondering if you'd even come back? You swore to me, to all of us, that we were in this together. And then you just abandoned us." Gunnar flinched at her words, the weight of her accusations hitting him harder than he expected. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. What could he say? She was right. He had abandoned them. Clara's fists were shaking, her breathing ragged. Tears stung at the corners of her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. She wouldn't cry in front of him. Not now. You're the Alpha, Gunner. Our Alpha. But you've been lying here, shutting us out, letting this guilt consume you. I get it. You feel like you failed, but you didn't. You didn't. You survived. You saved all of us. And if you're too blind to see that, then I'll make you see it. Gunnar turned his head away, shame tightening his chest. You don't understand. I do understand, Clara snapped, her voice raw. You think you're the only one carrying the weight of this battle, the only one who lost something? You think you're the only one haunted by nightmares? I've lost people too, Gunnar. We all have. But the difference between you and the rest of us is that we keep going. We don't give up. Her words struck him like a physical blow, and for the first time in days, Gunnar felt something stir inside him, something other than guilt. Anger. He clenched his remaining fist, frustration boiling just beneath the surface. I had to go alone, he said, his voice rough with emotion. You don't get it, Clara. Ultranacious wasn't just another enemy. I had to end him myself. I had to— You had to nothing, Clara cut him off, her eyes blazing with fury. You had us. You always had us. But you chose to carry this burden alone, and now look at you. Her words hung in the air, heavy with truth. Gunnar's mind whirled, the guilt, the anger, the pain all colliding inside him. He hated himself for what he'd done, but even more, he hated that Clara was right. He had abandoned them. He had abandoned her. Clara's voice softened, though the fire in her eyes remained. You're stronger than this, Gunnar. You're better than this. But if you keep shutting us out, you're going to lose everything. And I won't, stand by and watch that happen. For a long moment, the only sound in the room was the crackling of the distant fire. Clara stood there, her breath coming in shallow gasps, her fists still clenched. Gunnar stared at the floor, the weight of her words pressing down on him like a leaden blanket. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, he spoke, his voice barely a whisper. I'm sorry, he said, his voice raw and broken. Clara's expression softened, the anger slowly draining from her face, replaced by something far more painful. Understanding. We don't need your apology, she said quietly. We just need you, the real you, the one who fights, who leads, who doesn't give up. Because we can't do this without you, Gunnar. For the first time in days, Gunnar met her gaze, and for the first time he saw the depth of the pain he had caused, not just to himself, but to Clara and the entire pack. And though the darkness still lingered, though the shadows still clung to his heart, something inside him shifted. He wasn't alone. The room fell into a tense silence after Clara's outburst, her fiery words still hanging in the air. She stood over Gunnar, breathing heavily, her emotions laid bare for all to see. The rest of the pack remained quiet, each of them feeling the weight of Clara's words. But despite her impassioned plea, Gunnar remained still, distant. His eye flickered briefly toward her, but then it fell again, his gaze hardening as he retreated back into the darkness of his own mind. Clara let out a shaky breath, her fists clenching and unclenching at her sides. She had said everything she could, but it hadn't broken through. With a final frustrated glance at Gunnar, she turned and left the room, her boots echoing against the stone floor. Desera, who had been watching from the edge of the room, finally stepped forward. Her prosthetic leg made a soft, metallic sound as it tapped against the stone, a constant reminder of her own loss on the battlefield. Unlike Clara, Desera didn't explode with emotion. Her approach was different, quieter, but no less powerful. She stopped by Gunnar's bedside and stood there for a moment, her expression unreadable. The two of them had always shared a kind of unspoken understanding, a bond forged in the heat of battle. Desera had seen the same darkness that Gunnar had, and she knew what it felt like to lose a part of yourself. "Gunnar," she said softly, her voice steady, "you're not the only one who's been through hell." He didn't respond, didn't even acknowledge her presence. But Desera was patient. She wasn't here to argue or force him to talk. She was here to remind him that he wasn't alone in his pain. With a quiet sigh, Desera sat down in the chair next to his bed, stretching out her leg. The metal of her prosthetic gleamed faintly in the low light of the room. She placed her hands in her lap and looked over at Gunnar, her eyes filled with the weight of her own battles. "I know what it's like to lose something," she said, her voice calm but edged with the pain of memory. "I lost my leg on that battlefield. I thought it was over for me. I thought I was useless." Her words hung in the air, and for the first time Gunnar's eye flickered toward her, though his expression remained unreadable. "I was angry," Desera continued, her voice low. "At the demons, at myself, even at the pack. I didn't want to be seen like this. Broken. Less than what I was before. But you know what I realized?" She paused, waiting to see if he would respond. When he didn't, she continued. "I realized that it wasn't my leg that made me who I am. It wasn't my ability to run or fight or be on the front lines. It was the fact that I was still here, still standing, still fighting." Gunnar's jaw tightened, his eye narrowing slightly, but he said nothing. Desera wasn't sure if her words were getting through, but she wasn't done yet. "Look at me," she said, her tone soft but firm. "Look at this." She gestured to her prosthetic leg. "I didn't want this. Hell, I hated it at first. I didn't want anyone's pity. But you know what? This leg doesn't define me. Just like losing your arm, your eye, doesn't define you. You're still Gunnar. You're still our alpha." For the first time, Gunnar's gaze met hers, and, for a brief moment, the walls he had built around himself seemed to crack. But then, just as quickly, his eye flicked away again, his expression hardening once more. "I'm not the alpha anymore," Gunnar muttered, his voice rough and distant. "I'm nothing." Desera's heart clenched at his words, but she didn't let it show. Instead, she leaned forward, her eyes locking onto his. "You're wrong," she said, her voice stronger now. "You're more than just your wounds, Gunnar. You've led us through hell and back. You fought when no one else could. You survived when others didn't. And that's what makes you the alpha. Not your arm, not your eye. You." Gunnar's hand clenched into a fist, his knuckles white against the sheets. His breathing was ragged, his chest rising and falling as he fought against the emotions threatening to overwhelm him. Desera could see it, the battle raging inside him, the same battle she had fought not long ago. "You're allowed to be angry," Desera said softly. "You're allowed to grieve, but don't you dare give up. Don't you dare turn your back on the pack. We need you, Gunnar. We've always needed you." Silence fell over the room once more, the weight of Desera's words pressing down on them both. For a long time, neither of them spoke. Desera sat quietly, her gaze never leaving Gunnar, while he stared at the ceiling, lost in his thoughts. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Gunnar let out a slow, shuddering breath. His eye closed, and for the first time in days, he allowed himself to feel the pain he had been burying deep inside. Desera didn't say anything more. She didn't need to. She simply sat there, offering her silent support. She knew that this battle, the one raging inside Gunnar, wasn't one she could fight for him. But she would be there, just as he had been there for her. And though Gunnar remained distant, Desera could see the flicker of recognition in his eye, the smallest spark of the man he used to be. It wasn't much, but it was a start. As the night deepened, Desera remained by his side, a quiet sentinel in the dark, waiting for the moment when Gunnar was ready to fight again, not just for the pack, but for himself.